Hey guys, welcome to Live for Five. My name's Aaron. I am the student ministry pastor at the New Lenox campus, and I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome to all of you checking in. I see Bella and Sam in the chat. My main man Josh, what's up, guys? So glad you're here. Listen, today's a holiday. Today's a special day of the year. It's Star Wars Day, May the 4th. As in, may the 4th be with you. It's kind of a little Star Wars pun for those of us who are big nerds on the Star Wars train, but also just, fans across the board. You don't have to be a nerd to love Star Wars. But man, I'm glad you guys are here. I got to update you guys on one thing. If you haven't seen it already, the lip sync battle that occurred yesterday was actually won by Nick. So shout out to Nick. Way to be, man. Way to beat Bryant in the lip sync battle showdown. We'll probably have to have an epic rematch. It looks like Nick asked, who's the worst Star Wars character ever? And the answer is nobody. There is no worst Star Wars character except for Jar Jar Binks. But that's just my opinion. It's one man's opinion. So hey guys, I've got a special guest who's going to be joining me. So let me invite her in here. Here we go. All right, everybody, go ahead and say hey to Madison. Madison, welcome. Let's see, we're waiting on her to get in. There we go. Hey, Madison, welcome. What's up? So, from what I know about you guys, you and your family, you're big Star Wars fans. Is today a holiday in your household?
Oh, yeah, it's a big holiday for us.
Nice. How have you guys been celebrating today?
Well, I actually did a little Ahsoka transformation earlier today where I kind of did a little bit makeup and made myself Ahsoka. So
all right, so you're legit about it. Like, it's not just I'm gonna put on a t-shirt and a hat. You went hardcore for it. I love it. That's great. So Madison, tell me just how you have become a Star Wars fan, especially like those movies. Most of them were made before you were born. Some of them made before I was born. What? Tell me about like how that became a thing in your family that you guys all celebrated.
yeah, so my mom, she's like the biggest Star Wars fan ever. Like, she grew up with those movies, and she even has like a bunch of all the original like action figures and stuff. So like when me and my brother were younger, we kind of grew up just like watching the movies all the time and like playing with all of her old toys and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just been like a big thing in our household since then. And we would always watch the new movies together and like the old movies. So it's just been a big thing for us.
Nice. I love that. That's great. I love like family traditions and like, the first time Jen came over to my house, I'm pretty sure we were watching Jaws and everybody in my house can quote that entire movie. And she was like, who are you? Like, who loves Jaws that much? But that's really cool. I love that for you guys. I saw your mom posting some pictures of you guys in Disney at the Star Wars, thing there. That was awesome. So let's try something real quick. We're going to test your Star Wars fandom and see if you can come up with the answers. I'm going to pick 3 Star Wars trivia questions, and we're going to test your knowledge and see where you stand. Are you nervous?
A
Or do you feel confident?
Just because if I mess something up, then that's going to be really embarrassing.
All right, we'll try to go easy. I'm not going to get crazy on you here. All right. So I'm going to ask you which Star Wars. Actually, hold on a second. Nope, that's not the one. Here we go. Who killed Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars? Was it Luke Skywalker? Was it Rey? Or was it Princess Leia?
Princess Leia.
Oh man, you nailed it. 1 for 1. All right, got the jitters out. Okay, here we go. You know who Admiral Akbar is? The dude with the eyes, the crazy eyes. All right. So, what is his famous phrase? Is it "I find your lack of faith disturbing"? It's not my fault, or it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yep. Nice. Perfect. 2 for 2. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. This is going to be a newer one. So we'll see if you've paid attention in the newer Star Wars trilogy. What is Kylo Ren's real name? Is it Jan? Is it Kylo? Or is it Ben?
Ben.
Nice. I don't think I can stump you. I'm going to be honest with you. Those were pretty softball. Let me find one more for you. This
Okay.
one will be a little trickier. All right. So this one is, which character has been in every single Star Wars movie to date? Is it Chewbacca? Is it Luke Skywalker? Or is it C-3PO?
C-3PO.
I don't actually even know if this is correct. We'll find out. Oh, hold on. It's not giving me the result yet. Hold on. Sit tight. And the answer is C-3PO. You got it. That one was impressive. I'm not going to lie to you because I didn't know the answer to that. I was like, Chewbacca's been in a lot. I don't know. So that's great. Awesome. All right. So part of the reason I wanted to get you on today, aside from I knew you would love to talk all things Star Wars with me, you know, just like your family has Star Wars as a tradition, there's a lot of other families that have just traditions that are just everybody does that thing in their family. And for some of us, that even involves our faith, right? Like how we grew up going to church, and it's just always been something we've done. So the problem is not everybody has that, right? Not everybody has that as a family tradition. And I know you and I have talked about, like, recently you've had some conversations with friends who are in that boat, right? Like they didn't grow up with faith being a tradition in their family, and it wasn't something that that felt handed down. So this is kind of an interesting topic, I think, a lot of times, because as Christians we feel like as a follower of Jesus, how do I talk to other people about that and actually and share that in a way that's non-threatening, right? Like we don't want to be out there like giving up these sales pitches, like and kind of being jerks about it, maybe. But the other side of it is like that's part of who Jesus is. Like he wants us to just share what we've experienced in our lives with the world around us. So Madison, let me ask you this: for some of your friends, or just for anybody who's a high schooler or junior higher, who might be in that boat where they're like, I don't really get the whole faith thing. I didn't grow up with it. I don't really have a background in it. What has been your advice to the friends you've talked to, and what would be your advice for anybody in that boat that just, how they get started in figuring this Jesus thing out?
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say, like, sometimes I know that getting into church and stuff, or even just like things that Parkview does, I know that it can kind of be intimidating to someone who's new to everything. And I would say, like, you just should try it anyway, even though if it's intimidating, because really all of this is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I also say there are so many different ways that you could grow your faith more and more. So, like, even just what I do, I'll read my Bible every day, or I'll do a devotional, and those are things that help me, but it might not necessarily help you. So, but there's a lot of different resources you can use, or people you can talk to, or things you can do just by yourself to grow your faith. So
Yeah.
not you don't have to do the same thing that everybody else does to just grow your
Yeah.
faith, get started. So there's a lot
Yeah.
that I could do. And I mean, especially in this quarantine, we have a lot of time alone. So why not give something a try?
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So obviously, some of the people who've reached out to you are friends, and that kind of makes it, or at least you've known them. That makes it a little easier, maybe to start those conversations because you know that person or whatever. But I think a lot of people who follow Jesus aren't really sure how to start that conversation, right, with their friends or just with anybody. So if you were to talk to right now anybody in your spheres of people that and tell them here's how you can start that conversation, especially when people reach out, or if people ask why do you go to church, why are you always there on Sunday nights and doing that thing, like how can you start that conversation? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, I would say like you can share kind of a little bit of your story, so kind of what you've experienced in your faith or like how you kind of got involved with the church. Like I know for me, I've been going since I was 2, but I know a lot of people have like been invited and then it ends up being a really big part of their life. So
Yeah.
I like sharing parts of your story and then giving examples of things that you do on a daily basis or even on a weekend basis or whatever you do of how you grow your faith. I think like that's important to share with other people so they're not going into it so blindsided.
Yeah, for sure.
Another great thing to do is I know like Parkview puts on a lot of big events all throughout like the year and the summer, and it's really easy to invite people to those events because like for example the color wars, you go and you just like throw
Yeah.
talk like the whole time, so it's
Yeah.
like a way to get started with the church and you're like, oh, that was fun, I want to start going to that more often, you know. So I
Yeah.
think those are some really good ways to kind of just start to reach out to other people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, if anybody has a question or something to follow up with Madison, feel free to throw it in the chat. I'd love to have her maybe put on the hot seat for a second. But let me ask you one more thing. So I know for a lot of us, social anxiety plays a large factor into what we do. You know, you may not go to a party if you don't know anybody who's going to be there. So how do you overcome that, trying something new that's not just faith, but also I may not know the people that are there when I show up. Like, how would you advise people to kind of overcome that?
Yeah, I would just say like I know like sometimes I get anxious in social settings too, but
Yeah.
I try to always like see if there's at least one person that I know around me. So like I think that's really good advice is if you have someone like one person you know there, that's a and you can just stick with them, like that's a really good um start, and like you'll eventually get to know more and more people and you'll make more and more friends. So at the end of the day, like you'll end up knowing a whole bunch of people there. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're alone in one situation.
Yeah, for sure. Love it. All right. Well, Madison, I'm so thankful you joined me today. I need to get back to my Star Wars binging personally. I don't know if I'm going to fit all the movies in today, but we're going to give it a shot. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're doing these live for fives every single week, Sunday through Thursday. It's just a way to kind of check in and keep tabs on people and maybe even see some people in the chat you haven't seen in a while. So join us, set your calendar, your reminder, all of that, and join us for tomorrow nights. Thanks so much for being on, Madison.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, have a good week. We'll see you later.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
guys.